Welcome to Designing a Digital Family Contract. You may be asking, what is a digital family contract? Why do I need one? These contracts are also called family technology contracts, family media agreements, cell phone contracts, or a variety of other names. But essentially, they all outline the ground rules on how devices and digital technologies are to be used by all members of the family. They remind us of what we should know, understand, and practice when using digital devices. A good family contract can help families create healthy internet habits and should touch on many facets of good digital citizenship. According to ISTE, the International Society for Technology and Education, good digital citizenship calls all students to recognize the rights, responsibilities, and opportunities of living, learning, and working in an interconnected digital world, and to act and model in ways that are safe, legal, and ethical. The smartphone has radically changed every aspect of our lives, from the nature of our social interactions to personal identity and mental health issues. It is more important than ever to have an open dialogue and ongoing conversations around these digital topics as a family. ISTE authors Mike Ribble and Marty Park highlight 3 guiding principles of digital citizenship that are important for all families to consider when using digital technologies: safe, savvy, and social. Safe. Stay safe by focusing on ways of protecting yourself and others. This should be a key element of any family contract: how to stay safe online, protect your identity, and how to find a healthy balance between the online and the real worlds. Savvy. Be smart. Focus on ways to educate yourself and your children on the skills needed to find reliable information and to responsibly connect with others online. Finally, social. Much of our social interaction has become digital. Ensure that everyone makes decisions that are respectful to themselves and others, including respecting the rights and property of others in a digital world. A good digital family contract should be designed around a conversation. An open conversation empowers both kids and parents to honestly think about what they should do with digital media, when they use it, how they engage with it, and how often they use digital media at home. Experts agree that the best thing parents can do to minimize the risk associated with technology is to curtail their own consumption first. It's up to parents to model what healthy technology usage looks like. Be the change you want to see. It is also important to use this opportunity to create an open space for dialogue about your family's values and expectations, including those concerning digital media usage. The dialogue created when crafting a family contract will do more to positively influence your children's decisions than any set of arbitrary rules you present. Keep an open dialogue in mind. Consider incentives and consequences for responsible or irresponsible behaviors. Positive reinforcement for appropriate behaviors helps keep that dialogue open and ongoing. Kids need to know that you're available to talk with them and to help them, especially if they make a mistake. If punishment becomes a focus, then the dialogue shuts down. Without an open dialogue, kids will start relying on devices for answers and advice, and you may not like the information they get in return. Remember, technology and digital media is everywhere and has become an embedded component of our lives. It is never too early to start having these discussions as a family to ensure that everyone stays safe, savvy, and social. As you think about your family contract, there are many different aspects to consider. Devices. What devices will be covered? Is it strictly for cell phone usage? Does it include tablets and computers? What about online gaming platforms? Are there different rules for each device? Is it okay to download apps on a cell phone or open a link in an email? What accounts can be connected across all the devices? Use this opportunity to set family expectations for all devices. Screen time. Define what constitutes a screen. Is it a phone, tablet, computer, gaming? What about a TV? Have an enforceable limit on screen time and explain why it is important for everyone to disconnect from technology. Discuss when screens should be put away. Meal times? At night? In the bedroom? What about in cars? Are there different rules for different occasions? Parental controls. Honestly discuss any controls or alerts you have placed on your child's device and explain why you think those controls are necessary. Be open to your child's reactions and discuss benchmarks or behaviors for lessening the controls as your children begin to demonstrate proper use. Controls should not be a means to spy on your child, but they can be helpful to ensure that everyone is staying safe, savvy, and social, and following the family contract. Remember, knowing your child's password and limiting their interactions does nothing to make them safer online, but it can erode trust. It's easy to change a password, create a new account, or simply block you from seeing their post, and this can quickly escalate into a parent versus child dynamic. Instead of blanket prohibitions, aim to keep the dialogue open and work together to make sure your child develops their own sense of responsibility. Social media. Social media is a major concern for families. Discuss what social media is and isn't allowed for your family and why. Remind them of what is appropriate and what is unacceptable when posting and engaging online. For my own children, the rule that stuck out for them was, if they wouldn't want grandmom to see it, maybe they shouldn't post it. Consider friending or following each other on social media as a way to build trust. Social media has become an increasingly difficult aspect for families to navigate, and studies have shown that social media has been linked to depression, addiction, social anxiety, and even suicide. It is important to be honest and open in these conversations with your children about the pros and cons of engaging in social media. It is also important for you, as parents, to be prepared for some challenging conversations. There are no right or wrong answers as to what should be included in your family contract. Each family has different circumstances and different needs. But here are some big ideas to consider as you begin to move through the process. How do we, as a family, use digital media? This can lead the conversation in any number of interesting directions, but it's an important question to start with. It gives kids the opportunity to be open and honest, and it can sometimes be illuminating for parents to hear how their children view their own digital behavior. It can also be quite humbling. It's important for parents to be accountable for their own behavior and to not fall into the trap of do as I say, not as I do. Parents need to make the most of opportunities to model appropriate behaviors and engage in dialogue about respectful and responsible choices online. What are the rules for use of media during the school week? This question gives families the chance to talk about the importance of focusing on schoolwork. But what about when homework is completed? Is it okay to use media? Or is it time for reading a book, playing a board game, or engaging in a family activity? This also leads us into the next question. Are the rules different on weekends and holidays? For some families, the weekends and holidays give kids the opportunity to consume all the media they need and get it out of their system. For other families, this type of free-for-all can present challenges, especially when it's time to re-enter the regular routine of the school week. Each family needs to work together to figure out what is best for them, based on their family's needs and the unique personalities involved. What about when I'm at a friend's house? This can be a very tricky topic for parents to handle. Consider some different variables and talk through it with your child. Are they allowed to use devices outside of normal times if it's allowed at the friend's house? Is there flexibility concerning the rules as long as they are following the basic principles of being safe, savvy, and social? Decide together what guidelines can be flexible and in what circumstances. How can we have fun together with media? Think of ways to engage positively with media as a family, whether it's making a movie, playing an online game like Words with Friends or Heads Up, having fun competitions with Mario Kart, or creating scavenger hunts that everyone can participate in. The contract should help everyone focus on positives as well as limits. It should help foster a consistent practice of ways to have fun and engage respectfully in a digital world. Finally, what happens when something goes wrong? What if someone breaks the device? More importantly, what happens if someone breaks the family agreement or does something inappropriate with digital media? This is the bigger question. Devices can easily be fixed or replaced, but trust is fragile. It is important to consider these types of scenarios so everyone understands that there needs to be some type of accountability. And everyone needs to be accountable. The last thing families want is to shut down the conversation when something goes wrong. This is the time when that open dialogue is most important. You can find some good examples of digital family contracts online that you can use as a guide when building a customized contract for your family's individual needs. There are links to some samples listed on the handout on our website, but a great place to start is Common Sense Media. Common Sense Media is the leading source of entertainment and technology recommendations for families and educators, offering expert reviews, objective advice, helpful tools, and much more. Common Sense Media offers the largest, most trusted library of independent age-based ratings and reviews for movies, TV shows, books, apps, games, and more to help parents feel good about the entertainment choices they make for and with their families. It also provides timely parenting advice and programs to support families as they navigate the challenges of raising children in the digital age with information and strategies covering a variety of digital media topics. Once you draft your family contract, don't be afraid to go back and modify the agreement. As you move forward as a family, some aspects of the contract may need to be revisited. Keep the dialogue open and allow for some adjustments so the contract works for everyone. As your children grow older, they may outgrow certain limits and restrictions. And as devices and available technologies become more updated and more complex, you may want to address new topics and concerns. Remember to revisit your digital family contract from time to time. Rules that fit your family's needs today may not be adequate to meet the needs of tomorrow. You can find these and additional resources at the LRC-South to help guide your conversation. Thank you for joining us today. Please visit our website at go.rowan.edu/LRC-South to watch additional modules or to browse our online and library resources.